I think we can get started. I believe some folks will still join in, and that's fine. Leo and Ethan, thank you so much for joining us. I will just take a minute to introduce our guests and speakers today. So, firstly, thank you everyone from DSGCP's brands founders who have joined in. Uh, I'm looking forward to this session, especially because it really is. It's talking about what's changing at a very, very fast pace in the world of AI and in how brands get discovered. So, with us for this evening, we have Ethan Smith. Jyoti, could you please? Okay, thanks. So, with us, we have from the agency called Graphite, we've got Ethan Smith, the founder and CEO. They are a well-known global agency on SEO and have become a leading voice in the space of AEO, call it GEO or AEO. We've been reading a lot of their thought leadership and very sharp and pointed insights coming in on how brands can stand out among recommendations that AI engines make. And with him, also our host this evening is Leo, who leads their Asia Pacific business. So, hi, Ethan, and hi, Leo. Thank you for taking out the time. Both of them are on two very difficult time zones. Leo in Singapore, so 10:30 p.m., and I think for Ethan it's 6:30 a.m. So, thanks a ton, guys, for adjusting the time zone that's somewhere midway between your time zones. We've been following your content and found it super insightful. So glad to have you here for this evening. Uh, Over to you. I'll just quickly introduce the format if you want to start sharing your presentation till then. Leo and Ethan will talk about AEO strategy for the first half of this session. They're taking two examples from our portfolio itself to talk through, which will be Stay Vista and Deconstruct, two different categories and segments, but two very researched and talked about segments on LLMs. And then, of course, open to questions. A lot of our brands and a lot of the folks here on the call today are just beginning their journey on AEO and how to be discoverable on LLMs. So feel free to ask your challenges, your questions, and how you should be thinking through this to get your brand to be recommended by AI engines. Over to you, Leo and Ethan. You can unmute.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And may I get sharing access, please?
Yeah, Urmit, can you please do that?
Great. Got it. Awesome. Excited to be here. Well, good morning from San Francisco and good evening in India and Singapore. So thanks for the introduction. I won't spend too much time on this, but Leo and I, so Graphite's a digital marketing agency. We specialize in search engine optimization, answer engine optimization, and then Leo leads our Asia region. We're calling that Helium, and excited to chat. So as you mentioned, we work with a bunch of companies like Rippling, Webflow, Adobe, Masterclass, and so we build out strategies for these companies. And so all this stuff that we're describing are things that we're actually building for tech companies. And here's some examples. These are search engine optimization examples. These are not answer engine optimization examples. There's actually not that many case studies of people causing outcomes in AEO. We have two. We have a few. We have Webflow and Legit Security and a couple others, but we're still pretty early. But these are some examples of SEO strategies that have worked. And what we'll describe here is that there's a lot of overlap between SEO and answer engine optimizations. They're pretty similar. And so here's some specific examples of SEO projects that we've worked on. And this is our agenda. So we want to generally discuss the fact that the category is growing and then introduce some initial concepts about how to think about the strategy and then specific examples for B2C and for B2B. And I will throw it over to Leo.
Okay, thanks, Ethan. Hey everyone, Leo here. Let me share my screen. You guys can see, yeah? Okay, awesome. So thanks, Ethan. Let me. Okay, so I'll get started. So I think on this, you guys probably already seen all of this. I think AI is growing. We start to see this tsunami started in January, and in terms of traffic, every single month is higher than the previous month. So I think it's continued to grow. In terms of the share of pie, as you know, the lion's share is coming from ChatGPT. And then Gemini, Perplexity, which all single-digit percentage. I think AEO is not just hype. I think it's not just visibility and traffic and click, but I think if you're really looking at the conversion and the strategies, we can really see a real impact on AEO. So this is example that we have on Webflow, where 8% of their conversion signups actually come from LLM. So I think Ethan will touch on this once we go into the case study for B2B. But I just want to show here that not only that a LLM drive a significant chunk of signups now, but the traffic also convert better or higher for search engine optimization. So you do see the trend. So this is on AI products. Usually start with a search. So I'll give you an example. So I think the example here is what is the best website builders for designer? And if you can see here, Webflow is number one. And reason why Webflow number one is because it probably has the most citation. So the more people saying, more websites saying that Webflow is number one for designer. So so we do see that every time we do a search, something like on ChatGPT. So every time you do a search on LLM and you see sources, it means they are doing a search, and they are summarizing the search results. Okay, so that's that. Another thing here is what we see. I think AI is conversing with search. So example here that you can see, if I search for like what is the best TV for apartment, it is then doing a search, and it is then recommending here are the products, and so this is and they keep adding. So sometimes it will show the shopping cart and the e-commerce cart, and then it will then then link to the product listings for them to transact. So we do see that there will be more and more search feature that will be added to the LLM search, the AEO. Okay. I think the next one here is, I think the difference between SEO and AEO. So example here is wedding photography. I'm in Singapore, so just wedding photography in Singapore. I think 20 years ago, when you search this on Google, all you see is 100% organic results. But what you see now is you see the top three is paid search, sponsored results. You see the local pack with the image, with the maps, and then you will see the organic results, and then at the bottom you will see more trees, paid search, and the other pack. So overall, what we've seen here is, I think search 20 years ago start with 100% organic. I think now, depending on the queries, you always see there will be more and more sponsor posts and some of the local pack. And I think from the data that we see right now here is the organic result it's not going to be 100% of the real estate anymore, but actually from the data that we are seeing, I think on average about 45% of the real estate on the Google search result is organic. Bing is even lower because they have even more of the paid results. But for now, I think when it comes to ChatGPT and Perplexity, 100% still organic, right? So I think for us marketers and growth, I think this is very exciting. If you really want to get organic traffic, then right now in LLM is still everything is still 100% organic. Now I know that they are testing here and there, so I would imagine that as time maybe starting next year, then I will imagine that we'll start to see some of the paid and sponsored results there. Okay. So now let me go to AEO topics. So I'm using example of phase zero. I'm using the case study for deconstruct. So if you search for phase zero, you will see. So this is I'm searching this for phase zero, and I'm picking one of the URL here. So in SEO, so if you put down this URL to know what's the topic about. So for this URL that I got from InStyle, there's about 2,500 keywords that you can see that's ranking for this URL, right? So a topic is a combination of all these related keywords that is related to face serum, like face serum for women, glowing skin, and a bunch of these keywords. So that is so in the search engine optimization, you are on the face serum, then you are actually you focus on the topic and then you find all the related keywords that supporting that topic. We do see the same trend for answer engine optimizations, where people also use a topical approach. So on the same topic of face serum, then here are the list of questions that are related to face serum. Right. So I think what I believe in SEO is all called topical authority. So the topic focus that we have in SEO, I think should also be applicable for AEO. Okay. And another example is, so I'm searching for best face serum. So I'm searching for best face serum in India. And in here you can see that it shows like, hey, it's this brand, Minimalist, Plum, L'Oreal, Derma, and then it will then summarize it into a table for each of the product what it's good for. I think what's interesting here is all these come from the same website. So when I click on it, this site have the list of all the products, right? I think number one is they are selling their own product. So they create a page for top 10 face serum brands, and then they have their product. They also have their competitor products in there with the price range and with the schema markup. And what you can see here is this is currently being cited by Perplexity in this case, and all of these. So you can see that if you tag them properly with the right risk snippets, then you can see that your page will then show up in the LLM ventures. So So on the AEO topics, sorry, I think I'm on here. Yeah, so I think I think on this page, I think it's important that when you write the content for AEO, then for every single product that you have, not only you have a summarization that will then show up in the answers, but for every single product, you then call it out. What are the use cases? What is the for this product? Like for this brand, it's actually good for help reduce dark spots, right? And for this brand is to help. So you make sure that for every single product, you write down what is the goal or what is the objective that this product is trying to solve for, right? And this will then so I think you need to make sure that when you write content, you need to anticipate some of the keywords or the questions that related to the topics. Right. So for this question is, for this topic is this page that I just show you, they will try to address some of these questions related to the topic. Okay. And you want to make sure that your content try to answer most of the questions. So now let me go to the AEO for the consumer. The first one is deconstruct. I'm just gonna go with it. So when I search for the, what are the best face serum brands, what you can see is a couple of things. One is you can look at the assistant steps. So it knows that these are the keywords that they are searching for. And you can also see what are the sources. So in this case, for this particular keyword, best face serum brands, you can see that deconstruct actually show up in the citation, but then it's actually not show up in the and then it's also show up in the answer. You have it here, right? The reason why deconstruct show up is because of the page that I just show you. There's a page. That is this page that they have. Oops, oh, sorry. Second. Let me click on it. Yeah, because of this article that they write on the best face serum, and there's a YouTube video, and the YouTube video is is about some of the face serum, and then if you look at the citation here, the description here is it recommending 6 products, and the first one is deconstruct the serum, right? So we do see. So I think for you to really rank, for you to really show up in the answers, I think you need to make sure that you are being mentioned, and people are mentioning other websites are mentioning your brand. For you to show up, for this case, it's the YouTube mentioning, and also it also be helpful if you have your own page, also being cited for the question. And then when I scroll down and then I look at the product page, so it has like alpha arbutin. I think I pronounce it correctly. So when I try to refine the search, which I think is very, very common that people when using the AEO, then they try to continue to do a search refinement. Then which brand have the alpha arbutin? Then it then show up deconstruct and other brand with a different URL. So when I click on it, it's actually a different page. It's a product page that mentioning some of the ingredient, and it's a tool. This is how they get this alpha arbutin in there. Okay. And then when I keep if I search for which one is better, this ingredient of vitamin C, then it will then highlight, if you look at the source here, it will then summarize the results. And then when you hover it, all the citation, they all have alpha arbutin versus vitamin C. So all these article, they're all talking about the same topic, right? Including deconstruct. So this is where you can see, and when I click on the deconstruct, you can see that it's actually another article that is about comparison about alpha arbutin and vitamin C, right? So going back here, you can see that the AEO, the answer is actually influenced by the earn and own. So how we define, so own is your own page, and then earn is what other third-party sites that they're mentioning you, right? So and then example for the earn that I showed earlier, is YouTube, and actually there's also another one. I think on Reddit, there's also another one where I think it's being cited in Perplexity, where it's comparing 3 brands: Ordinary, Minimalist, and Deconstruct. So we do see YouTube and Reddit show up most of quite a lot for B2C type questions. So I think the idea here is for you to get citation, the low hanging fruit would be try to optimize for YouTube. you can see this, this is one of the example of the YouTube. You can do a lot of like, how can my product, solve for a certain, goal or objective. And you can create YouTube videos on that and try to rank for this keyword. That will help for your citation, for your AEO. And also we also see a lot of like Reddit, particularly on ChatGPT. So you can find this thread, and then you can reach out, you can respond to the comment and say, hey, I'm part of Deconstruct. Let me help you to give your suggestion here. So I think, you need to show, you cannot do a hard sell, but as long as you are solving the problem and you're contributing to the conversation, this can also be a good, a good idea to get some mention from Reddit. Okay, so yeah, I think, yeah, and another thing that we see here is, so let me go back to here. So when it comes to AEO, we have this head and medium and long tail. So what we see here is for you to rank for the head term. So the head term here is best face serum brand. That's the head term. Typically for you to rank, and as you can see from the example here, typically for you to rank, for your brand to show up is when other websites are mentioning your brand. So that is what we call earn, that will mainly drive your results. But for the longer tail, like like best face serum for men and others, typically is your own media, your own article, your own pages that will then you can optimize to rank for that. So that's one of the yeah, so that's how we, what we see from some of the tests that we're doing. Okay, let me go with Stay Vista. Let me put this. Sorry, I pre-populate everything, just to make sure that we don't have any hiccup here. So on the Stay Vista, same thing. So, apologize. So on the Stay Vista, because it's a vacation rental, villa rentals. So the example I put here is best villas in Lonavala. I think this is one of the popular tourist destination, right? So as you can see here is, you have you have Stay Vista, you have the page show up in the citation, but you also have other other sources, and in here we can see that Stay Vista don't show, well, so they don't show up in the results in the villa, but it shows up under the booking platform. There's a Stay Vista here. And when you look at the sources, you can see, I think it's a combination of the search results, and other results. Okay. And what and then same thing here. I think with same with Deconstruct. I think I think there's I think in the citation you can also see some of the Reddit thread. I think this can be an opportunity, idea for Stay Vista. And people asking a lot of questions about what are the recommendations of the best results in Lonavala, and there's a long thread. So I think this can be a good way. I think this would be a good way to technical to get citation from Reddit. And another trick here that I want to show you guys is, so Reddit launched this Anxious beta. So this is the Reddit Anxious. Yeah, this the Reddit AEO. So you can actually type a lot of questions here. If I search for Lonavala vacation rentals, it will then, it will then give me like, here are all the, I think the goodness about these tools is it will tell you all the Reddit conversation right now that are related to the topic. So you can really see that, oh, I can go to this subreddit, or I can go to this specific thread for me to start getting my Reddit citation. This can be a good idea. And another way that is a lot of people are doing is you do comparison. So you say like, hey, how's my brand compared to my competitor's brand? You can search that, and then it will give example, for this case, people complaining about Airbnb on the poor customer support, people complaining about the high fees, the surprises, and other fees. So I think this can also be a good idea to come up with the content, to write a content, to write to write your own content on, maybe you have like alternatives to Airbnb, or you have alternatives to Holidify, right? So I think this can be a good tool, and that you can use to write content, and can also be a good tool for you to start doing Reddit outreach. So yeah, so let me go back to the slide. Yeah, I think on the state visa, same thing. We have these on media and the earned media. And some of the how do you get influenced by earn? I think is Reddit is a good one, YouTube is a good one. And for the long tail, you can also try to optimize your content for you to optimize for the questions. When it comes to citation, here are the top 10 from ChatGPT. We see, I think this is global number. I don't think this is India specific, but we do see Wikipedia is a big one, Reddit, and YouTube, they are in the top 5. So I think when you look at the citation, you can look at what are the things that are that I can where are the sources, where are the citation sites that I can try to do an outreach. For the case of Wikipedia, and YouTube is a media site, so it's just about buying media. And for the case of Reddit, it's a community, so it's all about how can we have a strategy to do a community outreach to get some of the community UGC content. This is on Perplexity. It's quite similar. You see YouTube. If I think YouTube is a good cited source. Let me pause here, and I'll pass it on to Ethan.
Thanks, Leo. I will chat about B2B. So Leo showed this. The way that I think about the difference between SEO and AEO is that everything in SEO works for free in answer engine optimization. And then there's two differences. The differences are the head and the tail. And the head, to win, you need to be mentioned as many times as you can off-site. So if URL, so back to this example, what's the best website builder for designers? Webflow is number 1. And you will see here that there are a bunch of citations. So let's say that Webflow's URL was the first URL in this list. They would not win this answer. They would win in Google search. That would be a big win. They would not win here. They would not be a part of the answer. They're part of the answer because all these other sites are mentioning them. So offsite is different, and then the long tail is different. And I'll go through examples for each. So you'll see here for Webflow, part of the, there's different themes of the citations that are feeding into the answer. So there's YouTube, there is Reddit, and then there's all these affiliate sites like ReadyMag. I think ReadyMag is a competitor. And then there's other competitors like Framer, Squarespace, and Webflow. So depending on the category, you'll have different types of citations, but the way that you win here is not just with one URL on your site, it's by getting as many of these citations as possible. So this is off-site answer engine optimization. This is new and different from SEO. So for this particular example, you'll see this here where it's what's the best website designer for design portfolio. It's not super viral. So you'll see there's only 10 upvotes and 23 comments. So it's not a really crowded thread. But this is feeding into the answer, and Webflow is part of the answer because this one person mentioned them, and this one person got 8 upvotes. So not super crowded, but this is why they're showing up. Reddit is pretty hard to to manipulate. So if you just create fake Reddit accounts and start commenting on things saying, hey, you should check out Webflow, it's not going to work very well. What does work well is when you create an account and you say who you are. So you'll see here, is anyone struggling with Webflow? This person is actually an employee. They say that they're an employee. They say what their name is. They say they work at Webflow, and then they give a useful answer. So this is what we've seen do well in Reddit, because if you don't do this, the community tends to downvote your comments and your stuff gets deleted or buried. One other example here is I'm using Webflow to do this. Vivian. So this is my name, Vivian. I work at Webflow, full transparency. Here's a useful answer. This we've seen also do well. 4 upvotes, not that many upvotes. So, you don't need to scale. You don't need to get hundreds of upvotes. Just a few upvotes and a useful comment is all you need. There's only a couple Reddit threads on this one money question, and they're not super crowded. So you don't need to scale this. You don't need to force scaling to crack Reddit. You just need to be a real Reddit user. So this is part of why Webflow is an answer, which is like earned offsite social. And then this is another example. So this is an article by Flowmance. I've never heard of this site. And it says that Webflow is great. I don't think this may or may not be an affiliate pay for play, but this is also part of the answer. So to win the head, you need to get mentioned as many times as possible. Depending on the category that you're in, the categories will be different. The kinds of citations will be different, but this is generally how you win head questions. So then the tail is different. And the tail is different because it's larger and longer than it is in search. So chat is built for conversations, and it's built for very specific questions that you would probably never search for because you know that the search would break. So if you look at this example here, best website designer for best website builder for designers. And then I asked this follow-up question: which of these has support for SEO and AEO? And which of them have this language, this region, this integration? And you'll see here, Webflow is number 1. And Webflow is number 1, not because it got a bunch of offsite citations, but because of a page on their site. So this is where traditional SEO would work. And they have this page here, and then Flowmance also has it, and this other site has it. And so Webflow has this page. So this is part of why Webflow's showing up in the answer, is a page on their site. And it's a feature page. And a lot of questions in chat are, I want a product that fulfills this use case or has this feature, or has this integration. So basically describe your product. Tell me, do you do the things that I am looking for? Yes, no. And so this page is part of that. So this is just sort of explaining all the things that they do for SEO. Then, and you'll see the same thing for the other competitors. So Squarespace is showing up because they have a page on Squarespace, and Squarespace help. And so this is another interesting category that you would not really do for SEO, but you would do for answer engine optimization, which is your help center. So for SEO, your help center would be interesting because you're already ranking for free for people looking for your help center. Like help center is branded search generally in search, but in chat, it's explaining how your product works. And so here you'll see, yes, we do SEO for Squarespace. Here's all the things we do there. And usually your help center is not optimized for search or for answer engine optimization. So my general recommendation for help center optimization is a few things. The first is that there's usually not very good internal link architecture. So you'll see here that there's almost no links to other parts of the site, whereas you'll see here, in an SEO optimized page, you'll have all these links, but these have not been optimized. So step 1 is just have much better internal link architecture. Have something like this where you're linking to a bunch of other help center articles. The second thing is subdirectories do better than subdomains. So you'll see this is on a subdomain, which is common because they're using a CMS, and CMSs will default to subdomains. But for whatever reason, we've generally seen that subdirectories do better. So I would do Squarespace/support. Like that. And then the third thing is that a lot of times help centers are closed and contained, and you can't ask anything that you want, or at least a page won't a new page won't be created like it would on one Quora or on Reddit. But we don't actually know what this long tail looks like. So many questions have never been asked before or have not been searched for much. And so we don't actually know what the tail looks like. But users can tell us what the tail looks like. So how users can tell us what the tail looks like is to open up your help center a bit more and let users ask anything that they want. Maybe you have some moderation about which pages get indexed, but I would generally let your audience tell you the questions that people have about your product so that you can fill in this tail. And a lot of companies have not filled in this tail, so it's sort of greenfield. Okay, so let's go to, okay, right. So then tell me all the things that I can do with this. So which website builder is the best? Which of them have templates for e-commerce? Webflow has templates for e-commerce. Here's an example. So we have e-commerce website templates. We have retail and e-commerce templates. And then we have, then we have Flow Radar. And part of why this is interesting is because there's multiple pages on Webflow. So 2 of the 3 citations are Webflow URLs. And there's multiple of them. So there's commerce, e-commerce and retail. There's like 2 different versions of these 2 pages. And so we see templates generally do well. Another example is Notion OKR template. These pages here, lists of templates. Webflow has this, Notion has this, a bunch of, I think Canva has this. So lists of templates do really well. And you'll see them having multiple citations in the citation set. Same with Framer, same with Squarespace. They're doing the exact same thing. And that's all 3 of these are basically using the same strategy. They're all sort of copying each other, or they're all drawing inspiration from each other, most likely. Okay, so that's that example. I want to also show, so that's that's on-site long tail, and then head is off-site. There's earned and owned. Earned is where somebody else talked about us. Owned is where we owned our offsite. So here, Webflow does a bunch of YouTube videos. I mentioned that YouTube is one of the most cited domains, and they made a bunch of videos. The videos about how to do X, like how to build a design portfolio or how to do CSS transitions. And they built this out. You'll see there's a ton of, there's 800 different videos. So basically what I would do is take all of your topics and key and questions that you want to rank for, have a landing page on your site, definitely do that, get in Reddit, and also do a YouTube video. And let me show you one example here. So this is Legit Security, which does application security posture management, very specific. They made a YouTube video, which you'll see here. And that YouTube video is very, it was not expensive to make. So it was basically a Loom with a guy talking about application security management, very easy to make, 200 views. So not, it's not like they spent a bunch of money on this. And then they had lost their position for their money term, application security posture management. And this URL dropped from top 3 to, I think, page 2. But we got clicks back, and how we did it was with that video. So you'll see here in the AI overview, the legit YouTube videos appearing here. And then also they're in the YouTube video carousel. So this one video helped them show up. They went from ranking with their web page and dropping to ranking multiple times with one YouTube video. And this helps them show up in chat. So generally, like if you want to win this term, not only do you make a page for it, but YouTube and Reddit. And that YouTube video can sort of create the spiral loop. And then the last thing is that this is not a very entertaining category. Application security management is not something that people spend their Friday nights watching videos about, which is precisely why it's interesting for YouTube and video, because it's not a crowded space versus travel and beauty and cooking, which are very crowded. If you want to win how to cook chicken, it's going to be really hard to win that. For application security posture management, not hard. 200 views and you win. So the less entertaining your product is, the more interesting video is, because it's especially not crowded. One other example I wanted to show you. So this is interesting. I asked, so a lot of people will say, I'm thinking of, I know I've whittled down to a few options what I want to use, but I want to compare them and pick and make a final decision. So tell me which one's better, rippling or gusto? And you'll see here rippling and gusto, and rippling. Let me show you this here. Okay, so where they struggle, gusto. Okay, so this one, where is this one? I want to show you. So this one here has gusto. Okay, so it says gusto struggles when you're expanding. And part of the citation set is this article from Rippling, comparing it. And you'll see here that, okay, yeah. So you'll see here, Rippling has an article comparing themselves with Gusto. And then part of the cons that they include are how it struggles when you're growing. So like it doesn't scale. And that's part of the answer here in the answer. Like part of this is ChatGPT saying it struggles when you scale, basically. And so why this matters is that people are asking a lot of questions about, is this brand legit? How does this brand compare with the other brand? What are the alternatives of the other brand? And you can actually affect that with pages on your site. And it's counterintuitive to have a page talking about your competitor, but it works quite well. So here's another example, Rippling versus Gusto. And we are number one here. So I would say control the narrative around your brand. If people are asking about your brand, if people are asking about competitors, have a page about that. We don't need to say things that are not true. Like I don't think that this is an untrue statement here, but control the narrative. Don't allow other people to control your narrative. Don't allow ChatGPT to control your narrative. Have pages where you control the brand narrative about your site. So those are the two main differences that I wanted to show you. And again, these are also examples where we've actually caused outcomes. There's not that many case studies where you did something and it caused outcomes. So these are three different examples where we caused outcomes, Webflow, Rippling, and legit security. And I think that's, I think we have one last thing. So I'll just wrap us up. So given all this, summary is AI is growing. I think we know that, but it's now large enough to actually be a meaningful driver of revenue. It's not a theoretical thing that might happen in the future. It's happening right now. It's driving actual conversions. There's a lot of similarities with SEO. Everything that you do for SEO works for AEO for free. The two differences are the head and the tail. To win the head, you need to own off-site mentions, not just your site, but YouTube, social, Reddit, affiliates, and then the tail. Answer the very specific questions people have about, does your product do the things that I want? Do you have the features that I'm looking for? Optimize your help center. And that is all we have. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ethan. Thanks, Leo. Any questions, please unmute yourself and you can ask or leave it in the chat.
Hi, Ethan. This is Shambhavi from Anveshan, one of DSG's portfolios. I had a question. Actually, we are into ghees, which is clarified butter. It is essentially a commodity. And we've actually tried this with a lot of our products. We have gone to different systems and asked, say, what is the best ghee or what is the best cooking oil to ChatGPT. And eventually we realized that every system was being quoted something else. So while, say, a Reddit was there, in some other system, Reddit wasn't the main thing. And in one system, say, my brand was being recommended, but in the other system, it was not the case. Some very random brand was being recommended. So is there a way to sort of find some clarity to this chaos? Because one is not understanding how are they actually referring to the whatever the query is.
Are you saying that two different LLMs gave different answers? Are you saying ChatGPT kept giving different answers?
ChatGPT kept giving different answers, and for two
Yes.
different systems.
Meaning like different models?
Yeah, no, not models, just different people using it, different
Yes. Yeah, so here's an example. What's the best ghee? And then there's, I think these are types, top recommended. Yeah, so like these keep changing. Why do they keep changing? So the reason why they keep changing is not because the model is changing. It's because when you ask something like what's the best ghee or what's the best flavor of ice cream, there's a probability distribution. There's hundreds of different products of ghee. There's a probability distribution. And then the LM is taking a weighted random sample within that probability distribution. So you can think of it's probably a bell curve. And so you could take the center, you could take something one standard deviation over here or over here, but it's basically taking different points of the distribution. So it's not that the model is unpredictable or or that the answer is changing necessarily. The distribution is staying flat. The answer within the distribution is changing. So so how do you address that? You ask the question multiple times. Maybe you ask the question 20 different times, and then you calculate that distribution. There are tools that do this. I will show you our page with many different tools. These are all answer tracking tools. And so you would basically want to take a tool that asks this question multiple times. I'll just show you really quickly an example with ours, which is software, blah, blah. And so we're asking the question multiple times. And so that's what you need to do is just ask it multiple times. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, I think I'll check this out.
Hey, Ethan. Helio. Sumit here from Supertails. Just one very quick question. So, understood that there are off-site and on-site citation that would be required in order for us to be quoted in the answers that either of these LLMs provide. But we are essentially a marketplace, which means not a lot of search queries would or questions would be asking where to buy, but it would probably ask what to buy. And answer would be a product that we, along with a lot of other e-commerce or quick commerce brands in India would be selling. How do we really get ourselves listed as one of the marketplaces or top marketplaces to buy from? Not in a manner when whether it is just a listicle article talking about 3 platforms that are there for you to buy, but the actual product feed that links to our platform instead.
Yep. Let me try to answer that. So here's an example. Best TV for apartment. So there's these TVs, and you're not LG. You're a company that sells LG, like you're a department
Correct.
or you're an electronics store. And
Exactly.
then does that sound correct?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So how do I make sure that I'm the one who's selling this TV? So you'll see a couple things here. So the first thing is you will see once I click on it, there's multiple sellers. And why are there multiple sellers? There's multiple sellers because these each have schema markup. So eBay has this TV and eBay has schema on this TV. Number one. So make sure you have schema.
Yeah.
Number two is I would just say just generally do good SEO for this page and you'll show
Yeah.
up and like there's a search that's happening. There's probably 500 different sellers. These two have been selected among the 500 sellers. Why have they been selected? Probably because they did good SEO. There's basically a search happening underneath here to select these two of the 500, and that's just doing SEO, which is optimize your content, have a good title tag, and get a bunch of backlinks and authority. You'll also see here that there are summarizations of the reviews and specific snippets from Best Buy and themes there. And so have a lot of reviews. Like Best Buy has, I think they have much less authority than eBay, which is why it's not showing up in the two sellers, but it has a bunch of reviews. So get as many reviews as you possibly can, and unique reviews to use. So this has 450 reviews, and this one I think has no reviews, or maybe it's some seller feedback. Yeah, so there's 0 reviews. So just do good SEO, optimize the page content wise, get a bunch of reviews, schema markup, and that is how you win. Let me just see if there's anything else here. I think there might be, let's just see here. So there's also listicles here, like Tech Radar and Wired and Tom's Guide. So the other thing you could do would be or sorry, this is not a listicle. This is a product review page. No, sorry, this is a listicle. So, and you would do this for SEO as well. So Best TV is listicle. This is another way that you can help optimize the answer.
Got it. So basically, do what you do for SEO, and for AU alone, nothing major that needs to be done to get that happen.
Pretty much, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions we can help answer?
While waiting for another question, I was about to say, Ethan, I think listing close is a very good idea, right? You may not have a product, maybe just a vacation listing. I think having like a best X for this, then have a page for that can also help you get cited, so you can control the narrative.
Awesome. I think we've answered all the questions.
So back to you, Tusma.
I just one quick question. I think you might already you might share that with us all, but in the deck that you were sharing, Leo, do we have answer tracking tools? Some of the options that we can look at using.
Yes, I just linked that in the chat, and I will post it again in the chat right now. Do you see that there?
Just get it. Chat. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Great. If there are no more questions, then we can close. Anyone else has a particular question that they want to ask around how to set up schemas or how to think of external or internal content, etc., let us know. I guess no more questions. So thanks a lot. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Ethan, for joining us. Thank you for taking out the time and sharing your insights with us. Been great to have you. And thank
Thanks
you,
for having
everyone
us.
who joined into the session as well. Thank you for being here and for your questions.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Tusma.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Good night to all.
Take care.
Thank you so much.